مرحبا بكل من يتابع هذه الفقرة الفنية. سامي يوسف هو ضيف هذا الصباح في سكاي نيوز عربية صباح الفن. Sami Yusuf, good to see you again.
Good to see you again too.
Congratulations for your new Baraka.
Thank you.
So let's talk about your new album. 3 years ago, you and I had an interview. Since then, what has changed in you or in your music?
Well, a lot has changed, I would say, but in a natural, evolutionary way. You know, I'm somebody who gets affected by what I see. And we are experiencing something unprecedented in history. I mean, I was just reading up recently, I was reading a mosque, a shrine that had survived in Iraq, had survived the Mongol invasion, but couldn't survive extremists. It was destroyed recently. We are going through a very difficult time, and my response to it, my response to the violent extremism carried out in the name of my faith, but also the extremism in general to a large degree, my response to it was Baraka, which is a celebration of 1,000 years of sacred music, and contrary to what extremists want you and I to believe and what want others to believe, you know, in tradition, and Islam is no exception, the default condition is of compassion, love and beauty. And that's what we find, I hope, what you will find in Baraka, which really is a museum. It's a museum into the world of sacred music, the sacred music of Islam. And I take no credit for it. Every song is traditional, has its roots in different parts of the Muslim world, from Andalusia to India, and it comes with a 27-page booklet with explanations of where the melody came from, what instruments were used, who the authors were, and the maqams and the rags in the case of Indian music. So it's, you know, I have friends, philosophers, and also professors from Yale, Harvard, Stanford, who all contributed to this album. So it's not just an album, actually. It's more of a taste of tradition, you know, of truth.
You worked very hard on it.
I tried to, yes. I tried hard. I tried hard to make it as traditional and authentic and truthful as possible, and really to respond to the madness that we're experiencing, because this movement we're experiencing is the antithesis of this. It's the very opposite of this. It says there is no tradition. There is no beauty. It denies the beauty. It denies the culture. It denies over 1,000 years of music. It denies over 1,000 years of ma'rifah, of philosophy, of falsafa, of beauty, of ihsan. You know, and this movement, this extremist movement, which in the 19th century was considered a heresy, has now become the norm. Until 150 years ago, it was considered heretic. It's like heresy. But now it's unfortunately become the norm, and we can only do projects like this, you know, remind ourselves of who we are and our true roots, our true music, and our true culture, and our true tradition, and cling on to it.
But you know, Sami, each time I listen to your song, I feel like people are putting you in the wrong corner. You're always trying to spread love and peace, but they are changing the subject from love and peace to religion.
Look, I am a deeply religious and spiritual person. There's no doubt about it. And I beg to differ with you on people trying to do. I mean, that's natural. Human beings try to make their own deductions and try to make their own judgments, try to put you in. It's a normal thing. But the reality is I'm a man of faith. And my faith plays a very important role in music, in my music. Actually, my music generally is drawn from my faith. But I'm not very interested in politics. And I'm not very interested in you know, isms, whether it's Islamism or secularism or socialism. I'm not a really ism kind of person. I have a traditional worldview, and I think that the religions of this world, all religions of this world, are a gift. They're gifts sent from heaven for precisely this reason. You know, to the madness that we are experiencing today is not because of religion, it's because of lack of religion, lack of spirituality, of authentic spirituality, authentic tradition. And I think the traditions of this world are, you know, they're a blessing. We're blessed to have them.
You're talking about this madness and what's happening now all around the world. Do you think the new generation need its own music?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's a lot to learn from tradition. There's a lot to learn. Like, for example, it's sad that the majority of the pieces on this album, which, whether it's Rabi al-Adawiya or it's Imam Nabahani from 100 years ago from Bilad al-Sham, or Sheikh Salih al-Ja'fari, who was from the head of Azhar, he was until the 1970s, I believe, fairly recent. Or Sheikh Abdul Rahman Khalis from 250 years ago from the Kirkuk region, from Kurdistan region, or Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi. The vast majority of these pieces are unknown to the masses. And that is sad, because this is our music. This is our tradition. When people say, what's Islamic music? There is no such thing as Islamic music. This is nonsense. These songs, none of them are mine, except for one new contemporary piece. These songs represent our tradition, and they are, how can I say, crucial. To know them is crucial. And to, I believe, have a relationship to tradition, have a relationship to our traditional pieces, I think is crucial. Because these are the things that keep us balanced. All the modern movements are extreme.
Yes.
The extremism comes from modernity. All the extremist movements are modern. So I think that whether it's, you know, Baraka or other albums or other traditional pieces or traditional poetry, mawashahat or beautiful folk songs, even folk music, it's important to be connected to the roots and the tradition, because I believe that is what will prevent extremism.
Someone asked on Twitter that if you like to edit something from your old song, would you do it?
Sure.
Which one and why?
I don't know. I think, you know, if I go back to my albums, like Wherever You Are, there's a couple of songs in there that I wouldn't mind remixing, going back into the mix and remixing them. Also, like Trials of Life from Wherever You Are, you asked for specific songs. Also, you know, maybe a few other songs, but to be honest with you, Baraka, I feel like I have two serious albums that I'm really proud of, you know, Al-Mu'allim and Baraka. You know, out of 9 albums, I think, almost 9 albums, I think, it is 9, Al-Mu'allim and Baraka are the most serious. I think Baraka it may come across as heavy when you hear it, because it's traditional, but it requires a bit of training. Once you start training your ear, not to Sami Yusuf's Baraka, but traditional music in general, it's very difficult to hear anything else.
I feel like there's a piece of you in this music.
I'm, you know, with Baraka, I'm connecting myself to a legacy. It's not pop, it's not rock. It's the music. It's a tradition that's over 1,000 years old. It's incredible, actually. The music. I mean, really, for me, just hearing like the songs like Awake in Turkish, Uyan ey gözlerim gafletten uyan, or the Turkish pieces or the Qawwali pieces that go back to the 13th century.
It's like a journey to the history.
Absolutely. It's a journey, but it's not going back to the past. This music is alive. It's traditional music. It's alive. but you might not see it on TV. It's not on, maybe it's not as popular, it's not pop, but this is the music of not the old, but alive, but it's part of a silsila. You know, it has roots, and we're living in an era where roots don't mean anything. Tradition doesn't mean anything. You know, where you're from doesn't mean anything. It's just one snowball of nothingness. We're one humanity. That's true, but you know, our traditions matter, our culture matters, and the Islamic civilization is a civilization that is not monolithic. It includes Ismailis, it includes the Shia, it includes Sufis, it includes so many different vast spectrums of thought, and each one of them are to be respected as they were. Our predecessors, our forefathers respected all these different branches, and that is what I'm trying to bring to life, the multiplicity, you know, the vastness, the barakah Muhammadiyah is vast. It's vast. It's not just a little thing that I say or you say or he says or she says. It's much greater than that. And here's the proof. As they say in English, the proof is in the pudding. Here's the proof.
Do you have new concerts in the Middle East?
You know, I'm very selective. I don't perform so much. But if the opportunity arises, God willing, we hope to be performing. I'd love to perform in Dubai. I'd love to do something in Dubai. I love Dubai. I think Dubai is an example.
We
all love Dubai. Barakallahu fiikum. God bless you. Because Dubai, you know, brings people together, but at its heart, whether it's Sheikh Zayed, Allah yarhamu, who was a very spiritual man, a great leader, and a very spiritual man, you know, the forefathers, the leaders, incredibly pious people, visionaries, and they respect the tradition, they respect people, and this is why we're able to have this conversation here. You know, so it's a blessing.
Good luck, Sami,
Thank you so
and
much.
congratulations again.
Thank you.
إذا كانت هذه الفقرة الفنية لهذا اليوم. شكرا لمتابعتكم، والآن عودة إلى استوديو الأخبار.